Right. Hello everyone. Welcome back to our channel. So here us today. Um, Let us start again with introduction. Okay, Alan Go here is with us, and also Dr. Tan Subi. So today we are into the last episode of Into the Unknown. We will discuss on nation, on how we react on the nation to be. And for the first time ever, I've watched the news and even the reports, and I think the Prime Minister of Malaysia have also give a latest development of what happened in our country.
Yeah.
And by this Monday, at least, we're able to get out from our home.
Yeah, but there's a lot of SOPs involved. You cannot just simply walk out of your home. You need to put this here, you put it, everything out.
You know, when I read that when the government have at least lifted up a few restrictions, which is you can go for jogging, you can go for mama, you can go for tea outside. But then I realized that I asked myself, do I well prepare for this thing? Because I'm not pretty sure that I am. When Alan and I go for Tarik, and then we drink, somehow he will sit there and I will sit here. I say hello, have a nice day, everything. It will not look real, but yeah, that's how our current situation to be. But how about you guys? Any response from this announcement?
But to me, at least we have the mama. But the difference is maybe like a further distance away. But maybe it's like you're having half the taste of what you want, but at least half.
You know, I wonder if I can go out to Tesco, Suramanjaya for my shopping, for my groceries, because I'm enjoying shopping to get something with my hand. But I don't think so that I will go out as soon it will lift it up on this. Not lift it up. It's going to be just a little restrictions. You know, yesterday our friends go out for shopping on behalf of us. They are just like stuck in the very heavy
They say more people because now they allow 2 person per house. So there are more people inside the shopping mall. So they take longer time for them to kill.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then for me, I will ask myself, does it worth to go by pairs? Because, for example, if you got your children at the house and you got your wife and your wife follow you, or your friend follow you, go for groceries. If one of them is sick, or two of them is sick, who will take care of the person in the house? So there's a question, and for me. Because in Sabah, what I know they're still not allowed for 2 person to go out because it is still dangerous.
Well, I think that it's a good thing that the government is slowly lifting up little by little all the restrictions. And I think this is what our Director General of Health have been telling us, a soft landing. It's not complete lifting up of the MCO, but it's giving us a little relaxation. Lifting up a little restriction here and there, So it is really to prepare us. But then the government knows that, after more than 40 days, we are used to one culture already. And I don't think so, like what you said, many people will seize this opportunity to go out. We'll still be very cautious. If we read carefully, even the mama store, there's a lot of SOP, Pak Saleh need to wear the mask, and then Pak Saleh need to have the hand sanitizer, and need to wipe the table after every customer.
and then what the most restriction is, he need to list out, he need to record the name.
And you need to give your handphone number also. So how many people want to take the trouble?
Imagine that if, for example, if Alan and I go out for Mama again, it's a distraction. We have to go for check your temperature and give your.
So one question: if you have your mask on, so when you makan.
Oh. Well, there was one video I saw this guy drink water.
You know, it's happened, and then I realized that if on Monday, I'm pretty sure that it's not only everyone will go out for food. Suddenly, okay, everyone will go out. You know, like they go for shopping, they go with children. But my question is, does it work? Because you can see, according to report, I watched Asian Boss documentary where he, I forget the name of the person, but he interviewed the person who in charge, the director of the Institute of Virus. I forget what the name is. So he stated that even NCO is lifted up, other countries, everything, it's a possibility, but second chance to get it back. So I'm thinking is, these diseases or this pandemic are not, it's very dangerous basically. Even if even someone can get infected without knowing that he is or she is a carrier. And I say, wow, that is very unpredictable. Because what we know is if someone is sick, you got the symptoms. But these diseases or this pandemic, you look healthy, but you have that, you become the carrier of the virus.
So that's why I really feel that our 40 days in our individual case is actually to help us build a new habit. Try to stay away from people. Just prevention is the best cure.
Indeed.
And build up your resistance. Because like what I was sharing earlier with some of you, there's also other dangerous viruses out there, but it doesn't mean that there's danger out there and we're going to stay in our cave forever. We still need to take risks. And everything we do, we still need to take risks. So the important thing is take precautions only.
Indeed, because when I read based on the announcement by the Prime Minister, he says 2.5 billion the government loss each day. And it's about 100 billion for 40 days. And then that's why the government decided to lift up a few restrictions for the businesses to operate once again. Because if this country is continuing to impose MCO, we need a few backup. And according to economy analysis, to ensure the strength of the country finance, the country must stand strong for 6 months.
Actually, the thing is, it's not only affecting Malaysia. It's
affecting
really affecting worldwide. And we are really in this together. And we just need to take risks, in everything that we do. Even if you go out, what makes you so sure that a car will not knock you down?
That's why.
So we just need to take risks, and then the other nations, you see, some are very daring. They are already lifting up the complete MCO. They are willing, because there's actually no choice. We don't have the country, and also the people are not rich enough that we don't have to work. We just stay at home and there's food on our table every day.
That's correct.
The poor people, how they, the makan pagi, guys pagi makan pagi, guys petang makan petang. How are they going to survive? And not only that, home abuse. Domestic abuse, at home. If you open it up, there's going to be less of this because these people have to be out there.
Correct. If you can see like Australia, without the MCO, they go to the beach, and even in some part of country in Europe, they lit up the MCO, and people began to go to the street and began to work. Well, a few restrictions, a few precautions. But what happened in Japan is quite sad because they have done a lot of precaution, but because we need to not to filtrate, we need to have some mechanism to detect person who will become the carrier, which is you have to make a test around the population.
Yep.
It is a very good. It's a
I think our government is launching something like this. That what my trace or something.
My
like
trace
that.
something.
I've not checked it out yet.
So
How to trace?
so because
Use your handphone.
because of that, we need to have that kind of application or what do you call it mechanism. Because with that information, and we know that someone here is sick and is infected by COVID-19. So all population can restrain themselves and go and make a distance as soon as possible. But how about Malaysia? This question. And then even in how the church reaction, and just we have received a reaction from the Church of Diocese of Kuching, where Bishop said the church buildings are remain closed until the MCO is really lifted up. And then what is the response from the government? It is not because we are being selfish. It's because for the safety and because of the congregation. It's not about how the church can be, but it's about what is the future of the congregation. I know that last week we talked about the revenue, or we call it offerings are getting dropped down until 70%. Even the tithing are dropped down. But how are we going to observe on these issues very well today? That is the key point of our discussion. Into the unknown somehow can be something that unpredictable, number one. Second, somehow we can do precaution. Third, what is our future plan? You can see that from today, a lot of people have laid off these issues. That's why the government decided to open. But what is the reaction of the businesses? Like the SME. SME of the largest group of businesses are really affected.
Yeah, it's worldwide actually.
Yeah, worldwide. And even not only Malaysia, it's around the world. And even if you look at the United States of America, there are they they are called certain of the country. They call it the developed country. Still, they cannot fight against COVID-19. Still, they have a major problem. And I was shocked. The price of medicines in the United States of America are very, 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 very expensive.
Yes. Yeah.
And we in Malaysia, we only have to pay about at least below 100 for a basic medicine pills. But in the United States of America, you have to pay more than that.
You have to be rich to get sick.
In fact, this COVID pandemic is a rich man's pandemic. They were saying, because we can afford to stay home. The poor, they cannot.
Yes. And then the current development of COVID-19 is to develop not a venom, to develop an antiviral. Venom is
vaccine.
To develop a vaccine, sorry. Not a venom, sorry. To develop a vaccine, at least to build up a laboratory about 500 millions. And then to start the project, after 500 million to start up the laboratory, you need a 1 billion of funds to start the project. It's not, and where we can get that? We need funds, and even to the WHO.
I think more important than funds is we need the brains.
Yes, and then how and then after the vaccine have been found and then the scientists have found it, and they have to do what we call it, laboratory test.
Yeah.
It
Who's
will
going to be a guinea pig?
Yeah.
Different stage.
It will be a different stage, first stage, second stage, and third stage. And then they open up for any companies around the world to invest in this, what we call it, a vaccine. How about the price of the vaccine? Will be the discussion. How about our country? Does our country have taken any action about it? This is going to be a huge discussion, but and it's not only that, but we're focusing also on how about the church, how the church can stand on this, how the church nationwide, even the global, how we can react on this matter. Any comment?
I think we need to balance spirituality and reality.
Yes.
You know, if we are really swayed by so-called like I'm not going to condemn any of the other term, charismatic or something. No, the thing is, if we are going to be swayed by the Spirit, we need to be firmly rooted first.
Yes.
Yeah, because if we claim that the Spirit tells me this, the Spirit tells me that, where is your confirmation? Yeah, so getting the confirmation is we need to be firmly footed in the Word of God. Yeah, so yeah, we need that balance between the Spirit is moving me to this, and then there's backing in the Bible that gives us confirmation. Yes, we do this. Yeah. So in the light of all these, what is the church respond? You know, we need to see reality that this is our problem today. But then we need to pray so that the hands of God will move the right things at the right time, at the right location, the right people, move them to do at the right time.
Yes.
Yeah, it's only God that can orchestrate everything at the divine time that He ordained. Yeah. So for us as the church, I think what we need to do is we need to continue in fervent prayer. Yeah, learning to hear God's heartbeat. Yeah, learning to discern that this is where He's moving. This is what He is doing. And when you're moving in that direction, there will surely be confirmation. Yeah, if you're in a prayer group, yeah, there will be, Alan will have the same impression. Patrick will have the same impression. That is confirmation. Yeah, then we know that this is the direction God wants us to pray, and then we pursue that.
Yes.
Yeah, so the thing is that we need to have more such prayer groups existing in our church today. Yeah, who's able to discern the move of God and to work together with Him. Yeah, I'm actually reminded by this book. I remember reading it in the 80s. Maybe you're not born in the 80s.
I'm 95.
I remember, you know, this book by Henry Blackaby is so popular among cell groups, you know, experiencing God. Yeah, learn to see where God is working and work together with Him. Yeah, I still have the book because I feel that this is a very, very good workbook, and also there's a devotional, you know, experiencing God devotional, where we learn to see where God is working and then we work with Him.
Yeah.
And that's why we see great things happening in our midst with the participation of you and I.
Yes.
You know, that is what God wants from the very start, participation of all His people. Yeah, so I really feel that that should be the response of the church in the midst of what our nations are experiencing today.
Any comment, Alan?
Well, I think you guys have said one good. Yeah, because sometimes like being a person who is very much into the logic, I'll see things as I'll look at the statistics, the data, and analyze. But then when it happens to be like relying too heavily on this data and statistics, it makes me write a bit more negative.
Yeah.
So that's why sometimes it's like, yes, when I feel that, yeah, I'm a little bit too logic, sometimes I need to be balanced by some illogic. Means to say, yeah, God. Because God will control everything. So if I just rely on what I know and my head knowledge, but then I don't actually connect with God, then what is actually happening in front of me, it seems like really unknown and really like, wow, dangerous.
You know, when you mentioned that, I recall on Saint Anselm.
Okay.
He have that of issues basically. How he need to balance the reality and spirituality. It has been answered. He began to discover. That's why he became one of the we call it one of the famous person for theology and philosophy. Brilliant. Become a priest, and then even become philosophers. And then he began to discover God through his research. The logic and unlogic become one. And in today, as you say, into the unknown, as a nation, as a church, what is our reaction for all of these things happen around us? That is the key factors for us today. If the church did not see this as an opportunity for us to work more, we have failed to become the church.
Yes.
Yes.
The church need to take action. I know that we have lost revenue. I know that we have felt that how we can do these things. But as we continue from the last topic, it's about the sharing. It's not about brotherhood or sisterhood. It's about as a community of Christians, how we can work together, not only help your brothers and sisters in your community, but also beyond of your community. How you can help the poorest, how you can help the needy, how you can help the refugees. When we talk about refugees, it's a sensitive issue at this moment. It's a humanitarian word, basically. And how do we see it as a nation, as a church? How we can help them?
I think it is that this time, it is this very crucial time that the church is put to the test.
Yes.
Do you really practice what you preach?
Indeed. And even like today, how do we see our congregation who are in an unfavorable situation?
Yeah.
Like, do you help them, or do you keep your money for investment of your buildings or everything? And this is time for us as a church. Church means each one of us. Is how do we can stand together, help each other in need. I know it's easy to talk, but hard to do it. But we have to be led by, I call it, the wisdom of God Himself. So we do it.
True, because in times like this, we must also be cautious that there will be many people who fake.
Yes.
And use the opportunity to lie to the church or something like that.
Indeed. I've received a lot of emails for these few days about helping or how we can help, and they just put an email say I'm from Africa, I'm from Philippines, I'm from I recall that they call it from Philippines and from bodies of something, and so we need a help, support. And I began to say, if you need a support, why don't you speak to the church leaders and then the communities of Christians communities in Philippines? Why don't you ask me from Malaysia? Well, I have nothing, resources to help you. This kind of game have been played since even I think it's before the church. But how the church can define it? How can church can ensure this is certain group of people need help? Like I recall a few years ago when in the Middle East, when ISIS, we call it ISIS methods, and refugees from Middle East run away, going to Eastern Europe, Western Europe, and some of them to Turkey, and they pass, and the babies are dying. And how the church, and they began to come to church, the refugees. But my question is, does refugees come to the church? Is because after seeking the faith of Jesus, or because of other intention of the food? But we cannot rejected all these peoples. Remember that there are humans too.
Yeah.
God loved the world. I mean, God loved each one of us.
Yeah.
Probably, in my opinion, we must have a mindset that let God judge him or her accordingly.
Yeah, that's the thing. We must always let God be God. Yeah, because many times we can't see the heart of man. It's only God who can see the heart of man.
Yes.
Yeah, whether you are genuine or whether you are fake.
Indeed.
Yeah, and not only that, we also see that in church.
Indeed.
Yeah, many people actually, sorry to say that they're in ministry for all the wrong reasons also.
Yes.
Yeah, like they say, let God be the judge. And it's true, some people, they come to church, they are in ministry for all the wrong reasons, and ultimately, we know that God will judge them. Yeah, they come to church, instead of building up the church, they destroy God's church.
Yes.
Yeah, through their conduct, because there are some unresolved issue, personal issues, and they destroy God's church.
Indeed.
Yeah, but then you see that God is so gracious, He gives them chance to repent. Yeah, there's always chance. Yeah, the God that we serve is always giving us chance. And the thing is whether or not we appreciate this or we continue to take advantage of that.
Yeah. What we call it is, do we have the privilege? If we beyond the privilege, in the end you will get it what you have planned. That's how I began to understand why Jesus said, what you have planned that you will get. I mean the what do you call the fruits or the harvest. That is a thing. And even today, that's what my question is for the audience, for the church around the world. How do we see COVID-19? How do we see humanitarian work? How do we see our surroundings today? If we fail to speak out on behalf of these people, we fail as a church. It's nothing wrong for the church to voice out the right of the person. It's nothing wrong for the church to voice out the issues that are coming, but with the wisdom of God. Never ever involve by using the church as alternative of other intention of politics. If that's why when I study for, it's a one term. If you mix politics with the religion, you destroy politics and religion.
That's why separation of church and state.
Yes, that's why it's important. And for me, I began to understand that I can practice what I have done before, voicing out the right issues, the right way, appropriate way to the government, or even to the opposition, or even to anybody as a church. Because the church is the best way to speak on behalf of the people. I think it's just proper. How about you guys? Do you agree with me, or you have to add on?
Yeah, it reminds me back to the choice, like what Cikgu said. Generally, it's a choice that we make. It's like I always remember myself. Let's say when it comes to making decision, that I cannot draw a decision. I always ask myself, what would Jesus do? So if I'm looking back at this situation whereby are we going to give humanitarian aid or are we not going to give it, then look at Peter and Judas. Jesus continued to ask them, follow me, do what as I told you. So Peter followed Jesus, even though after 3 times denial, then he still followed Jesus faithfully. But Judas, no. Judas sold Jesus for 30 silver coins, and at the end of the day, he ended his life. So it's always a decision.
Yeah. When you talk about Judas, I'm thinking that Jesus have given him a lot of opportunities to repent.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even to the end, even when Jesus was in Jerusalem, met with the called Antipas or the what they call it, Antipas, the Herod or something.
The Herod.
But he made a wrong decision.
Yeah.
Instead of repented, instead of follow what Peter have done, he just do another alternative, kill himself, take his own life as another alternative, and that is happened around the world.
So that's why I would say that now the situation is like, perhaps this is the time where church, God is asking the church, so are you going to follow me?
Yes.
So so this is the time whereby we really need to seriously look into it.
And probably we can continue with the stories of the journey to the promised land before we end our conversation today.
I like to bring that parallel to our topic, on entering into the unknown, drawing the parallel from the last 2 episodes, when Joshua leading the people into the promised land. Yeah, like when we enter into the promised land, it's like there's a lot of changes. Yeah, the Israelites, as a nation, they enter, and then the nations there in land of Canaan, yeah, there are different reactions. Whether they are welcoming, whether they are fearful, whether they feel threatened. So in the same way, Monday is just a few days away. When slowly, the MCO is slowly being lifted. Yeah, there will be different reactions also. So we as a church, how are we going to react also? Yeah, there's a lot of SOP there. There's a lot of still restriction. You can go to your mama, but there's all these restrictions there. So how do we adapt to it? In the same way as how the Israelites did, there's also fear in them that when they enter into the unknown, there's all these dangers there. And the danger is for us also when we enter into the unknown. Yeah, with a new norm of having to wear masks each time we go out, and having to wash our hands every few times, wash until your skin turn white, something like that. And all these new norms coming in, and it's not easy to adapt to it. But then, life is about taking risks.
Yes.
God bringing the Israelites into the promised land, there is a risk there. But then they trusted God, and everything went well for them. So just like for us, we are entering into the unknown, into a new norm, we're going to adapt a new lifestyle. But then, just like the Israelites, if they can have God to lead them, they feel safe, they are well provided, even though they took the risk. So in the same for us, I believe that if we really always have God in front of us, there are all the risks all around us, there's all the uncertainty around us, but then God will surely take care of us. The Israelites were forced to make a change. We are slowly being forced also to make a change in our lifestyle. But then with God ahead, everything went well. So that is the assurance for us that if God is ahead, if we put God ahead in everything we do, then I have the confidence, as the Bible tells me so. Yeah, God will take care of us.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Awesome. Yes. So it's a reflection on that's on the journey to the unknown, as the Israelites waiting for them to go to the land of promise, to go to the promised land. To go to the promised land. A lot of wondering what is going on the other side, as we have today also. So next week, are you well prepared? Are you excited? Or you have something to do on next week? So we hope that you're doing well. And next week we brought you a new episode, a new topic to be discussed. And we hope that you subscribe to our channel as well. And keep praying for us. So we have a topic to brainstorm and every single thing. So God bless you. And that's all. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.